Hello and welcome to Green Diamond Boxing, hosted by iBoxingHub. My name's Aiysha, and just quickly before we get started, a shout out to our sponsors, D-Rock. Please check out the clothes on their website, add promo code iBoxingHub24 for 40% discount on all their clothing. Today, my guest is pro trainer Peter Fury. I'm so happy that you could make it. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you, and you're very welcome. It's a pleasure to be speaking with you today.
Thank you for your time. So I just really want to start off from the beginning, and I think a lot of interviewers like to do that. So I've watched quite a few of your interviews. A lot of them are very long, so it took me a very long time to do my research for this one.
I'm not surprised.
So, but very interesting interviews. So just growing up, I understand you're one of four brothers. What was it like in the Fury household growing up, and what was your fondest memories as a child?
I've got good memories of all of it. We had a good bringing up, very good mother and father. We were brought up with good values and stuff, so I couldn't fault it. I had a perfect relationship with my family, my brothers, my mother and father. Yeah, it was very nice.
And as brothers, did you play pranks on each other? Were you fighting a lot? How was your relationship growing up?
We had quite a good relationship actually. We was fighting a lot with other people, but not really not with ourselves. So it's just the bringing up we had. But it was no, it was a good bringing up. All happy memories of being a young kid growing up.
Wow. And also, I understand that you started work at quite a young age. When you look back at that, do you feel that that had a positive influence on you or a negative influence on you growing up?
I think it had a positive outcome. I left school when I was 8 and started work when I was 8 for my mother and father. Um, so yeah, it was put to work and speaking to people and doing all these different kinds of jobs, small jobs, big jobs, whatever they may be. And it was good. I enjoyed it, and it allowed me to connect with people better, um, not be shy, embarrassed, and all these type of things when you're a young kid. So yeah, it was good. It was very knowledgeable.
Mm. So would you promote that? Would you say that kids should actually start doing something at a younger age because it helps with their kind of growth and
Well, it depends. I think education's a very good thing for young kids to be educated, and it depends what you want to be. We was brought up in a travelling culture, so it was normal for our culture of people. I'm not just the only one, and we're not the only family that did that. All youngsters from our communities done the same thing. Really, it wasn't really people that's going to go to school and get a job. Always fending for ourselves, work for ourselves, and this kind of stuff. So that was our bringing up.
so that was just quite the norm for you guys then.
Quite the norm for us.
Yeah,
it's just
nice.
as it is. I think every travelling man in my age group can resonate with what I'm saying. What we did.
Yeah. And did you have quite a religious upbringing? Were your parents quite into their faith?
Yeah, my father, my father was a Catholic. It was all about Jesus Christ and the Blessed Lord. So yeah, we were brought up all around our faith of being young kids.
Wow. So obviously, I think it's public knowledge that you went to jail for a little while, for a few years. I just want to ask you what kind of advice you'd give to people to kind of stay away from that lifestyle. Obviously, having seen it and been through that, what kind of advice could you give to other people to avoid that lifestyle?
It's quite simple when you narrow it down. People try and highlight it, and you see people come on these podcasts sometimes, and you try and I don't know, try and glorify it in some way. It's hell on earth, to be fair, and you're playing with your life. So to do criminality, it's like, are you prepared to do the time? And if you're prepared to do the time, then you can't be a sensible person. because it's a waste of life. You've got nothing in there, and you're playing Russian roulette with your life. You might as well get a gun and say, right, am I going to win the lottery? Or is this next bullet going to kill me? How can you live like that? So it's a waste of life, and it's all about trying to get things in the fast lane instead of just taking your time. It's because a lot of it as well, we're in a materialistic world, and these young kids, they look at nice cars and they look at these things and they want them there and then, and the education's not there, and they're thinking there's only one way I can get this, and this is through crime. But it's totally the wrong approach, because that isn't going to happen. They're not going to be successful. They're not going to get where you think they're going to get. So they're going to end up one way. Well, two ways. Either on a slab, stone dead, or doing a long, long time in prison, which again is a waste of life. So my advice is not really listen to the environments that you grow up in. Don't get involved with crowds that want to be in gangs and want to be involved in crime and want to do this and drugs and all this. Take a step back and do your own thing, and think about your life. And there's always something out there. We live in a great country, and there's plenty of opportunities here. So that's the best advice I can give, because jail, you're a dead man alive, and that's all you've got. You're breathing. So for me, looking back, would I have risked doing nearly 9 years out of my life for any amount of money? No, I wouldn't. So I'd rather be on nothing, walking the streets, being in there, and I'd be happy.
Yeah.
Be happy to live in a tent in a field, because I've got freedom. The worst thing you can have is losing your freedom, and losing your family and everything else, and being told what to do like a robot. So, it's definitely it's no place for sensible people, and no place for people with any kind of a future. So, my strong advice would be to steer well away from prison and crime.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I do believe that everything happens for a reason, and through everything in life, even things that may seem difficult or negative, there is always a silver lining or a positive thing that comes out of it. If you were to look back at that time, what would you say was positive, or something that's positive that came out of that time in imprisonment?
Well, what positivity can you make from? You have to, if your back's against the wall and you've done things, and it's all about when you're young and you don't listen to good advice. It's not easy for young people to take good advice and listen to it. It's difficult. I had good advice from my family, but I didn't listen to it.
Yeah.
My father said to me, "You're going the wrong path. You're going to get this. You're going to get that." I didn't listen, but when I got it, I realised. And this is the thing. You always realise too late, but it's never too late. You can always turn the corner. There's a second chance. So I would say that. And you've got to turn negative into positivity, because you've got no choice, or you're happy to stay where you are, and lead that kind of life, and expect to go in and out of prison all your life and never be any different. So it's your choice of what you want to do. But if you can rise above this, if you can rise above that situation, and you have to do, then that's it. And the positivity for me is when I look back, I take the positives out of it. I realize what my freedom means. I realize what loss of family means. I realize all of these things, and that's what makes me value the very smallest of minute things. Because when you lose everything, then you realize just what you take for granted. And a lot of young kids growing up take where they live for granted. They take the freedom for granted, and they think, oh, it's so bad. But is it so bad? It's not so bad at all. It's only so bad because they're looking at things they can't have.
Yeah.
Which are only material things anyway. So really, what is there? When you look at the material stuff, I've got material stuff. I can have more or less what I want. I've worked hard. I'm not a fool. The thing is, what really do I value now? I value my family, health of the family. I value the blessed Lord above everything else in the world, and the rest of it is all trivial. All material stuff, man-made stuff, all this expectation of bullshit, really. So why bother in the first place? Be happy.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. No, definitely. You did say that if someone was to go down the life of crime, that there's two options for them. Either they go to jail for a very long time or they end up dead. Obviously, one obvious positive is that you went to jail for a very long time and you didn't end up dead. So that is a positive, isn't it? In the sense that there was only two options for you and you went down the one where at least you still had your life.
Look, I've escaped death. I'm lucky to be sat here, for the life I've led. I'm lucky to be not doing a lifetime in prison. So I'm very lucky. So there is good out of bad, and luckily I came out the other side. And I'm never going to condemn the police. I'm never going to condemn anybody in the prison system because I put myself there. Don't get involved in the first place. Nobody's to blame for your downfall, only yourself. And people look to blame others, is wrong. Take your own responsibility and go forward. And until you can do that and realize it's only yourself put you there, then you can start to grow when you understand that it's your own problem, it's not other people's.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, of course, there are some people who are falsely imprisoned, and I think you gave an example of a guy who you met in jail who was, I think, under terrorist things, but you felt that he actually was innocent and that he hadn't done anything wrong. So I guess there is situations like that as well.
Yeah, there is. You just got to take people as you find them. When you're referring to Baba Hamid,
yes.
That's who he is. He's a very, very close friend of mine, even today. So I was at his birthday party not so long ago.
Oh, nice.
So, he's been released. He's got a beautiful family. He's got a beautiful wife. He's got children now, and it's just like it was just a horrible memory, but also a good memory. Because we was in together, and he used to read paragraphs out the Quran to me and explain it, and I used to tell him about the Bible and whatnot, and we talk about all these type of things. So it was a different religion, but it all comes down to the same thing of one blessed Lord. So
yeah,
we got on very well, and it was a pleasure to meet him. And he's a great man, Baba Hamid, a very good human being.
So in your opinion then, do you think prisons work, or do you think we need a new system now in this country for our prison system?
I think prisons work. They work for there's a lot of bad people, isn't there? There's people that's dangerous to society, where you've got serial killers, and you've got rapists, child killers, whatever they are, pedophiles or whatever. These don't need locking up. These need a bullet, in my opinion. So why waste food and energy on them? Why waste hundreds of pounds a week keeping them? What are they?
Yeah.
They're the most evilest thing in society. When you mess with little children, when you mess with women, and you're a big, strong man, and you do these kind of like horrific acts on people, you don't deserve to breathe fresh air. No retribution for you, I'm afraid. You stepped over that line. So I think half the population could be cut very easy. I think the one about spaces in prisons, clear all them out, because I'd just gas chamber all of them. That's what I'd do with all of them. And I am a religious man, but I've got no sympathy. I don't think people like that can be forgiven. Definitely.
Yeah.
Not. I've got a wife. I've got children. If somebody messes with a child, that scarred that child forever. It's never going to get over that. We've all been children. Yeah, never get over it. So that's a very, very one of the. When you're messing with the innocence of the world, especially little children, there's no recovery from that.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Don't deserve any retribution. And I will say this: they're more looked after in the prison system.
Yeah.
Than people like like us. They're treated like, you know, oh, they haven't got it. You know, they're you know, they're sick or they're mentally unwell. Not mentally unwell at all, because, you know, I've seen things in there, and I spoke to prison officers in there, and the things that they get up to in there is horrific. So, you know, these are swapping each other's case papers. You know, they're getting off at looking at what they're doing to each other's victims and stuff like this while they're in there. You know, it's horrific. I remember a time there were some people near where I lived, and this guy, he'd done a run, or he went to somewhere in the Philippines, not the Philippines, South Asia somewhere. Anyway, he had a wife, and he had 3 or 4 children, his own wife and his own children, and he baseball batted them, and he horrifically murdered the full family. It was horrific, and this was in Cheadle in Greater Manchester in Cheshire, and it was a corner house, and obviously there was left there. I think they got found after 3 weeks because of the stench and smell and stuff. Anyway, so he came in, and I was already in Manchester on the Cat A side. So you got the Cat A wing, and then it used to be the Cat A wing was blocked off, and then you had B wing.
Right.
All of these sex offenders was.
Right.
And I used to go on my visit every week, and I used to look down, and you got like the meshing, and you could see through the meshing, and you could look down, and you know, this guy, he sat there, you know, and he's got obviously some psychologists there, and he's drawing. This guy's drawing cartoons on of kids, you know, on a piece of paper, you know. And there's plants outside, and there's this like he needs therapy, you know. And I look at things like that, and I think, you know, my God, what is this nation wasting its money? When you look at people like that, how is he going to be repaired? Yeah. Look at the damage he's done there to his own family. That's beyond sick, isn't it? So his little lives are gone. So I look at stuff like that. So that's why I'm harsh on it. That's why I've got no sympathy for them whatsoever.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then you have people like what came up in the news recently. This guy who I think he organized a Stop Oil demonstration, caused a lot of, you know, I think traffic on the motorway. He's got 5 years in jail. And I just think this is taxpayers' money. He's not a threat to society. I mean, I don't think jail is the right place for him. What would you say to that?
I think, look, if he's holding traffic up, you know, it's and whatever he's doing, but when you look at other crimes and you compare it, he shouldn't have got 5 years for that, should he? Maybe 6 months or something. I don't know, but it's not some serious crime.
Or a big fine, but 5 years in jail, like
there was other ways of dealing with him, you know.
Yeah, I agree.
When you see other people, what they do, and they seem to get minimalistic sentences, crazy. But, you know, the odd one does slip through the net, and, you know, there is some leniency, and they get it wrong sometimes, but I don't know. It's a judicial system, isn't it? But I do think a lot of these in prison, one, they're never coming out. One, they should never be allowed out the street anyway. When you've got these offences that I've mentioned, so what's the point in just keeping them alive and spending a fortune on them?
Yeah, I think there just need to be a bit of reform in that system. They need to relook at that. Right, just moving on now, a bit about your family. So you've got 6 children, is that right?
Or 6 kids, yeah.
6 kids. Adults, not children anymore. And you've got Huey, who's obviously a professional boxer. Are any of your other kids into boxing, or is it just Huey who wanted to go down that path?
When he was growing up, they've been to boxing clubs. They can all handle themselves. The big men, like, at the end of the day. I'm the smallest in the family, I think.
Oh, really?
I've got 2 about 6'5".
Wow.
I've got, obviously, Huey's a little bit taller, so he might be a little bit taller than them, but they're all big men. But they can handle themselves. Done a little bit of boxing, but the only one who's been dedicated to it is Huey, and he's active, and he's got fights scheduled.
Oh, is he?
I think next month and September.
Oh, okay. But I didn't see that on BoxRec yet. So, right, because he had one recently, didn't he, in May, I think?
Yeah, he's had. I think he's had a couple, hasn't he now? So we're just looking to keep him active and busy.
Right. And apart from Huey, then, do you train other people? You've got a few other pros and amateurs in your stable?
Yeah, there's been. I've had quite a few over the years. And yeah, I still work with quite a few fighters. Not that many, maybe a handful, because I like to concentrate on them. And
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, I'm always busy with the boxing.
Yeah. So you train quite a few people, and as you said, you've done it for quite a few years. What would you say are the key factors that make a successful trainer-fighter relationship?
You have to somebody who's a very good listener, somebody that can take on board what you say and think about it, study it, and somebody that refuses to not refuse to quit. That's not the word I'm looking for. It's refuse to be beat by something. I will get over that hurdle. I'll get better. It's that burning desire to improve every day. So they're the type of people that make it. Whether you're going to be a champion in anything, or you're going to be a world level. You can be a car driver, a tennis player. There's no easy ride. So, I'm so talented. I'm getting there. There's ups and downs. It's the ones that can take the downs, brush them off, get back up, and keep going. It's the same in all walks of life, really.
Yeah.
And you look at any successful person has had many a downtime. You grow from adversity, so that's just why you can turn negatives into positives. And I think we're fighters, talking to the fighter, making them believe in themselves, knowing that it's possible. That's the thing. Because a lot of fighters can look at other fighters and think, "Oh, he's a world champion. I'm never going to get there." But it's not about that. It's that perseverance, and in time, when you're good enough, you will get there.
Right.
So, and the time will come. And so far, the fighters that I've worked with has proved to be the case.
Yeah. So if a fighter kind of walks through your doors, for example, and they say, "I want you to train me," are there certain things that you look out for? So obviously you want to make sure that they listen to you and that they change their way depending on what you say. But is there any other kind of things that you look out for that you ask them to know whether you would work well with them?
I think I've never really looked to get fighters. That's one thing. Fighters has come in the gym and they've ended up staying.
Right.
So I think that's the one thing. And I think looking at it, I've always given good advice. I've had fighters come in the gym and they haven't stayed with me and they've gone. Not because there's any harsh feeling or anything, but I've helped them as far as I can help them. And they've gone doing other things. Maybe they've quit boxing, it's not for them and they've done something else, or it's too far away from where they live. But at least they've come. Sometimes they'll have a couple of fights with you and then they go, which is fine, because if I can help people, I will. So it doesn't matter whether I get anything out of it or not. It's not about that.
Yeah.
If I can help somebody, and I had a certain young fella come to me, and he was living out of his car, and he had nothing, no place to live. And he couldn't get going, and they had him at a wrong weight. They put him in 2 fights, and he was like 2 stone below what he should have been.
Oh.
So he was with me for about I think 18 months. He had a couple of professional fights with me. He got on the right track, and now he's doing very well. He's a young prospect. So
Amazing.
there's things like that where, so you might, even if you do it with one person, if you can change one person's life, especially in boxing, they can help possibly hundreds of people's lives.
Yeah.
Because they can pass that over because they've been there, and nobody's helped them. So when they've had a hand to help them, they'll hopefully, when they get older and they see a similar situation, they'll help others. They'll speak about it. And when champions, they can speak about it, and it helps. And what does champions do? They inspire young kids. So it's a knock-on effect. So doing one good deed for one person can have a massive impact, especially in sport across the globe, really.
Absolutely. Is that one of the reasons that keeps you in boxing? Because obviously it's not something that you need to do. You do it for the passion of it. But is that one of the reasons that actually keeps you in it as well, is just being able to help people and,
Yeah, because ultimately my faith allows me to do it. Because, if you're a good person inside, you will help others without any reward.
Yeah.
Because it's enough to see them happy, especially young people. You want to see them do the best. And if you can help people out of a situation like that, and you get them to a certain situation, that's good. So that's what your faith is about. That's what the blessed Lord's about. We should treat each other like we treat ourselves, how we want to be treated, with love and respect. So if somebody comes to me, a young person, and they're willing to work for it, don't get me wrong, if I've got the time, I will help them.
Yeah. No, that's lovely. So obviously you trained Savannah Marshall for quite a while. She's recently done an MMA fight, and obviously we had like Francis Ngannou move over to boxing. What do you think about fighters moving from one discipline to another? Do you think that's good for the sport, good for the fighters to be able to do that?
Ultimately, I'm a boxing purist.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not an MMA person. I like to watch it, and it's a difficult sport.
Yeah.
And I do like it. I'm not saying I'm against it, because I'm not. I like MMA. I like looking at it, but it's brutal. Yeah. So I prefer the boxing.
Yeah.
So that's me. I'm a boxer.
It's brutal, but maybe not as much as that bare knuckle brutal that you've seen in your lifetime as well, right?
Well, we've seen a bit of that, yeah, but I think that's more brutal, because you can get your arm snapped and get your back broke, and probably get your neck broke as well. At least with the bare knuckles, the few tears on the skin or not.
Yeah.
Ain't too bad. It's nothing like that anyway. But no, it's a hard sport. It's like anything. But if they enjoy it and the fighters cross over, like Savannah's crossed over to it, she loves it. She's enjoying it. So why not?
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. As long as she's enjoying what she's doing, that's the main thing. That's how you're going to excel in anything, isn't it? That you enjoy it.
Of course, new challenges as well.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Made it to undisputed champion. Whether she can go with the boxing, so she wants to. It's all about setting challenges and goals, isn't it? And she wants to challenge herself in the MMA.
Yeah. Well, good luck to her, and I hope that she gets to where she wants to in that. So we spoke briefly about your dedication to your faith. So did you say that you're Catholic? Is that what your faith is?
I am a Catholic, but I went to Rome. First time I went to Rome, actually. I've been many years ago, but I never really looked at anything. So I went to Rome, and it just coincided that it was the Pope's funeral.
Oh.
And, people think I went to the Pope's funeral. I went there, but it was a coincidence. I was going there for a holiday. And anyway, the Pope passed away, and I said, well, we'll go and pay our respects and stuff. But ultimately, I believe in the blessed Lord. I don't believe in what a man can tell me. So that's not my thing. And this Pope we've got, he says things which is not what's quoted. Some things are in the Bible. Right. The blessed Lord and whatnot. So I don't really hold much faith in any of them. So, but I go there because it's God's church, it's God's house. So I go do my prayers in there, and I pray to the blessed Lord. And that's what I do. So my faith is strong, but as far as popes go and all of this, I'm sure they do well in their own way. But for me, when they deviate from certain things, you can't change God's words, and you can't change God's path, no matter who you are. No human being has any right to change anything. God's words.
Yeah, absolutely. So what is your core belief then? Your belief obviously is in God, but then where does Jesus come into it for you? What's your belief on him?
I solely believe in Jesus Christ. I believe he gave us everlasting life, scriptures and everything about it. and that is my faith. I believe there's they say the Father and the Son, but are we not all God's children anyway?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not interested. Oh, he's not the Son; he's a prophet. He's this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what people say. He's a man of God. It's like Muhammad, peace
Mm-hmm.
be told. You know, he was sent messenger, whatever you want to call him. You know, he's a man of God, isn't he?
Yeah.
So that's it. You know, you don't come out with these words and these, you know, it's proven over thousands of years or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
You know, there's no disputing anything. So my faith, I believe in Jesus Christ to say my prayers every single morning. I believe in one blessed Lord ultimately,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it.
Yeah, I guess the difference and where it all comes in is that we believe that it's really vital that we know very clearly what we believe of each of these people. So, you know, we believe in Jesus, obviously, we do as Muslims. His name is mentioned more times in the Quran than even Prophet Muhammad by name. So we hold him very, very highly. But for us, if anyone was to say that he is a son, as in the begotten son of God, then we take a step back. But if you say son as in we're all children of God, then we say, yeah, fine, he can be a son in the same way that we're all children. But when some people say that he's a begotten son, then that's where we kind of draw our line and say, no, we can't say that because we don't believe that God has children as such as like a child, like how you have a child. We wouldn't say that God has a child in that same way. We'd say that we are all God's children as in we're his creation. And that's where we would differentiate the two. And for us, it's really important that we're clear on those things as part of our faith, I
Right,
guess.
because you're Muslim and we're Christian.
Yeah.
So that's it. But ultimately, we believe in the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. We believe in one God.
Exactly. And the thing is, as well, this is the thing. I've travelled a lot and I've been in prison. You know, let's talk about these Palestinians for a minute. When you break bread with these people and you talk with these people, and they're the loveliest people, you know, that you know, I don't see how. I think hurting other people like this, you know, I just don't understand it, because if they believe in the blessed Lord, it's definitely not about that.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the beliefs are. Don't want to get into the politics. But, you know, little children and killed, but all wars, you know, whether it be Russian, Ukrainian, you know, good people don't hurt other people.
Yeah.
You know, because you're hurting
Absolutely.
yourself. Look, we're not different. You and I are not different. So we're the same people. So we're on the same era. We the same thing. We've got a heart. We're the same people.
Exactly.
You know? So this is what people's not understanding.
Yeah.
I don't know where religion's trying to mess it up, because it's got nothing to do with religion.
No, it doesn't.
You know, your faith in the blessed Lord tells you, you know, to love one another and be right with each other. And you can't inflict, you know, evil things on people. Why would you do that? So that's what I don't understand.
Yeah.
I don't think the men and women of God, truly of God, to do the things they do.
Yeah, absolutely. I think some people try to make it about religion because it's easier to divide when you start doing things like that. But we know ourselves that Muslims, Christians, and Jews lived very peacefully in Palestine before all of these issues happened. That even if you go to marches today, we stand side by side, you know, on the same thinking and, you know, the same path. So it's not about religion. I think people are just, misinformed.
I know a lot of Muslim people. I know some Palestinians. I know some Iraqi people. And believe me, we're all the same. All the same. Lovely people, you know, and good friends of mine for years. You know, so I just don't get it. You know, we all bleed. So whatever you do to another person, you need to look in the mirror. When it comes your time and you pass over, that's going to come back to you.
Yeah.
Whatever you do to others and you wrong people, that's coming back to you. And this life is very short. You know, so to imagine going to all eternity, yeah, and then you've got a very big issue. There's no talking your way out of it, is there?
Yeah.
done what you've done.
Absolutely.
The best thing to do is pray to God for forgiveness and, you know, own up to your mistakes now while you still can. When you come to pass over, it's going to be too late. It's going to be too late for them.
Yeah, exactly. So when did you start getting a really kind of strong faith? Where did that start from in your life? Has that been quite recent, or?
And later on, although my father was, you know, he was a God-fearing man and stuff, you know, I just heard it, and, you know, it went in one ear and out the other. So I think being in prison, you know, and the things that's happened in my life, and coming out of prison, and the older I've got, the more understanding I've got, and reading the Bible, speaking to people, and all these type of things, and you find your faith, and things has happened in my life as well, which is unexplainable, you know. So, you know, I don't believe there's a blessed God. I know there is. That's the difference.
Yeah.
I'm not hoping and saying, please God, there's something else when I die. Please God, there's that. No, I'm not hoping for anything. I know for a fact there's life after death. And I believe in the unseen, not what I can see. Yeah. Because what I can see is material stuff. But our soul, our makeup, our kindness to each other is invisible. The most powerful thing we possess is the unseen. And only a fool believes what he can see. Trust me.
That's the excuse that a lot of atheists give. Well, I can't see God, so, you know, you can't be a...
Tell you what it is. I can't see Brighton because I've been there, so it doesn't exist. Why don't we just say that? I've never been to parts of Scotland, so I'll just forget that doesn't exist.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Yeah, it's laughable. You know, this is you've got to put this down to ignorance, I think. For me, I'm not interested in speaking to people with no faith, because to me they're hollow. You know, this is just, they're just going to evaporate into thin air, and there's no more. You know, so I even went to a funeral once, and it was like an atheist funeral, and I wish I never went because the speech out of them. You know, I was praying for the dear woman. I was doing this in.
Really, yeah.
I was saying my prayers for her. I thought, please God, they don't know what they're doing here. You know, so, but look, everybody's got a right to believe and not believe and do whatever they want. It's just, we've all got an opinion. But my faith has saved me life, I can tell you that. If I never had my faith, boxing would have never existed.
Really?
That's number one.
Right.
And number two, you know, my faith has made me realise and put my family first above anything. So that's, I'm looking after your family, praying that they're going to be all right and stuff. So yeah, I thank God of where I am today.
Yeah.
And that's it. I don't give any reasons. It's not because I'm a super clever being. It's not because of anything. It's God's path. So thank God for everything I've done in my life.
Yeah.
Thank God for all the adverse things I've done in my life, because God made me, put me in them positions. Because if I hadn't been in them positions, you know, it's molded me to be the man I am today through all these adverse things. So I thank God for the bad things that's happened in my life. I thank God for the good things. There is no picking and choosing. I give my life to the blessed Lord, and my faith is my life. My faith is everything. If somebody said to me, you're going to die, you're going to get killed tomorrow, denounce your faith, I'd say, get on with it. That's how deep my faith is. It's rock solid.
That's amazing to hear that. And I think, like, when people say to me that they can't see God, I say to them, well, you can't see oxygen, but you can see the effects of the oxygen in the sense that it keeps you alive. And similarly, you can see the effects of God in his creation. So there's so much beauty in his creation, so much complexity in his creation, that there is no other logical explanation for it. And in fact, I would say science proves that there's a God, not disproves it, as some people like to say. So it's just, nothing else makes sense, but that there's a God.
Let's go back then. If they don't want to believe in this, let's go back. We can simplify things down, actually, because in my language, I can very simplify things my way. Yeah?
Yeah.
In layman's terms, let's say, right? I'm not an educated man, so in layman's terms, it's like this. Let's say, when did planes start flying? 1800s, something, 1700s, is it? When did planes start flying? Let's go back to the 15th century then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Would we have said there's going to be planes and rockets going to the moon
Yeah,
in
true.
the 15 and 1600s? The words out of everybody's mouth will have been, that's impossible.
Yeah.
A mobile phone came out in the 1980s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's go back to 1900s, in the late 1800s, turn of the century. There's going to be a mobile phone.
Yeah.
But you can talk to people like that. That's impossible.
Mm-hmm.
That's impossible. It's not going to happen. So when you look at all these things
Yeah.
about these doubting Thomases, yeah, because there's a doubting Thomas in the
Mm-hmm.
Bible. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at all these doubting Thomases and what they're looking back then, you know, everything's too easily impossible because it's not possible.
Yeah.
But now it's very possible. Well, it's the same, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
How can somebody say, "Oh, there isn't. There's no blessed Lord"? You know, that's utter rubbish. And like you just, main things in your life are not visible.
Yeah.
Your love and affection's not visible. You can X-ray it. You can go and have a body scan. See if you can find it.
Yeah.
But it exists.
Yeah.
It exists. The blessed Lord exists, and that's it. And I'll argue with anybody till night, day, till the day I'm dead. There's the blessed Lord, and the blessed Lord makes you do good things. And we should be a nation and a people that do good things. Can you imagine if we all loved each other and we was all lovely and friendly? There was no wars. There was none of this carrying on. There was no greed. There was no money involved or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we'd be in heaven right now.
Yeah.
We're only not in heaven right now because everybody wants to do a snatch and grab. Everybody wants everything for themselves. And this is probably part of the problem. We are our own problem.
Yeah.
Because as a people, this is what you brought up. This is the culture you brought up in. You know, is that the other? You know, it's like when Jesus said he breaks bread and says, "Here, have half of it." You know, that doesn't happen, does it? People walk past people on the street and they're starving to death.
Yeah, it's true.
So it is what it is. So we can't change it. We just rise above it, isn't it? That's it. So try and be a good person. It's nice to speak with other good people as well. I like speaking with good people and nice people. You know, niceness moves mountains.
Yeah.
Kindness moves mountains. Speaking to nice people. That's what I like doing. I like speaking like people like yourself.
Oh, thank you.
I enjoy good company, talking about good things like this. You know,
Yeah.
and I'm not an idiot. I don't go to church every weekend. You know, but I get on me hands and knees every morning of my life before I do anything, and I thank God for where I am, and I thank God for my life, my family, my kids, my wife, my friends, everybody. You know, and I pray for the people that's been killed, or whatever. Everybody's mentioned in my prayers.
Yeah, that's so important to do that, to start your day in the right way.
It is, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
God comes first and everything else.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. So talking about that, so in 2021, for the first time in a census of England and Wales, less than 50% of respondents put down Christian as their faith. And I think that the atheism and the others are kind of rising now, although Christianity was still the most common religion picked. Why do you think that is as a society, that people are like coming out of their faith? And do you think there's something more that should be done from places of faith, like Christian churches and mosques and temples? Is there something more that we should be doing in terms of faith?
They're coming out of the faith, aren't they? Because again, it's all the vices of the world. We've got all sorts going on today. What doesn't suit the church. So that's for them. I don't want to go into that. But what I see going on today is against all of my beliefs as a Christian man. So I don't believe in any of it. So it is what it is. I went I even went today and I was looking in London. I was around the Westminster area and I seen there's a church house, it's called, and I looked through a window and I was reading this plaque and it's saying so many, this church has been going for 800 years and this is the last service it's going to be doing.
Oh my God.
There's so many thousands of churches been shut down.
Oh.
They're either turning them into houses or or a discotheque or something. But again, it's not the children, it's the parents. It's the parents. If you've got parents with no real beliefs and they believe in, I don't know what they believe in, they're going to bring up the kids the same. So that's what it must be. So but I think people who can keep their values, the blessed Lord is the only way.
Yeah.
It's the only light there is. Darkness is evil. Anybody who is to promote evilness is evil themselves. So good prevails.
Yeah.
And I think religion should be top of the list. Going into schools, everything. It should bring back, the faith stronger than ever. Because now, in the times we're living, is where it's needed the most. Now.
Yeah, definitely.
Not the other way. Well, let's look what we got today, because the faith is dwindling.
Yeah.
Look where we are. So is this the right way then? Clearly it isn't.
Yeah, that's very true. When you were in solitary confinement, because I know you said that you had to do that for a little while as well. Did that time, obviously you've got nothing else to do but ponder and think and contemplate, and did that bring you closer to God at that time? Were you thinking about your faith and about life, the meaning of life? Did those questions come through your thoughts?
Yeah, you think of everything. When you got 24 hours a day to think about stuff and you've got nothing else, and silence becomes a noise.
Right,
It's so silent.
Yeah.
You start hearing things. So you think of everything and your emotions, whatever. Anybody who's been in that situation, especially if you're somebody who's intelligent, you're not stupid. You think of all things and you think, how you've got there, the mistakes and this and that. It's a multitude, a scramble of things goes on. Yeah. But ultimately, you have to see, it's either, what's that saying, sink or swim. You're in that adversity, you're in that situation. No matter what, you learn to cope with it. So you have to cope with it. And yeah for sure, I got very, very close to the blessed Lord in there. And and I studied quite a lot. Read quite a lot of books and stuff. And
so you're able to take books in and read books if you need to then in that time?
Yeah, you could have books. There was a library. There was always I think you're given a Bible like you're given your last rites.
Oh really? Okay.
And you go in them blocks.
Wow.
So basically, so it's no, look, when you're the only thing you can do is think, and your soul comes out in situations like that. Because you've never been in situations like that.
Yeah.
You see, you get to know your real self in situations like that. So that's that's the thing. And I never went up and down in prison. There's no super hard man in prison. Let me just say this, because if you think you're going to be a super hard man in prison, you're going to end up dead, because you'll get stabbed. It doesn't take a big guy to run up behind you with a Stanley knife and slit you from your But if I went about my prison as polite, as kind to everybody. But if problems come to me, I would be able to deal with it. Because I'm not somebody who could be bullied or talked to, or intimidated. That just wouldn't happen. I was never too bothered like that anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Not too bothered about. I could get an ID in 7 days a week. That's a lot of my problem. So in that regard, the jail didn't bother me too much. I had no. I didn't hold no fear. Not from a man anyway.
Right.
I don't fear men whatsoever. What's the worst that can happen? Show me a gun and yeah. Not a few punches or whatever. I'm not the bad lad. But no, I just went about my prison and I met some good people in there as well.
Yeah.
That I'm still friends with today. Just because people's in prison, it doesn't mean to say that they're bad people. It's a situation that they're in. It's a lifestyle, or they don't know anything else, and it's a true saying. It's all right for some to talk. It's understanding other people's situations as well.
Yeah.
Where they've got no option.
Absolutely. If someone was to ask you now, what's your definition of the meaning of life? What would you say to them?
The meaning of life is freedom, good health, peace, blessed Lord.
Yeah.
That's it.
Somebody
asks me, that's it. Peace of mind and your faith, health and peace, and the blessed Lord they're the three main things to me.
Yeah.
And obviously the love for your family, love for each other, there's four of them. What comes to my mind are those.
Yeah. But you've been in situations in life, obviously, where money's been taken away from you, or you haven't had that much money, and you've been in situations where obviously your freedom's been taken away from you. What do you feel knowing that the thing that you've got the strongest, which is your faith, that is something that nobody can ever take away from you? How does that make you feel?
When I was sat there and had the Crown Prosecution Service trying to give me 35 years on a few occasions.
Wow.
And, and they're saying all this stuff about me, and I'm sat there in this bulletproof glass dock, which was in Manchester. Where else did I stand up? In Chester Crown Court. Yeah, I've been quite around. I've done the circuits. And in Liverpool as well. I think we had a 3-month trial there. And the thing is as well, I used to sit there and I used to think, I know I'm not the person they're portraying, but I know that.
Yeah.
I come to peace with myself. I thought I can only be the person I am. But I used to say to myself, while all this was going on and we'd be arguing backwards and forwards, the prosecution and the defence, and they'd be going up and down. And I used to just say to myself, please God, let this judge see some sense here. Because it's not all true what they're saying.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. And I ended up having a very fair judge. I really did. In the end, I think he's seen it a lot of it for what it was. But he also seen that I was a good person as well.
Right.
And I think this man gave me a second chance. And he said, I've listened to this now for 6 years. He says, don't get me wrong, I got a big fine and stuff, but it's paper to me.
Yeah.
Big fine, money, whatever. At that stage in my life, when I got the fine, I wasn't even interested in the money anyway. I couldn't care if I got white time. Didn't bother me.
Yeah.
I've already found the blessed Lord. I'm not too pushed about it. But obviously, I want to come home to my family. I don't want to go downstairs for 2 years. Yeah. So, this judge gave me a second chance. And, I never got off scot-free. And, obviously I'd done jail time and, but I got a second chance. And I come out that court and I said to me wife and stuff, I said, I never want to look at anything again. I said, if 5 million in a carrier bag in a field, I'm going to walk the other way.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to report it. I'm just going to run it. I've never even seen it, So basically, that's it. Even now when I get get people, ringing my phone because I've got in trouble for this in the past. Yeah, but now even if my phone rings, I'll look at the number. If I don't recognise it, I'll either ignore it or I'll send a message back and say, "Who is this?"
Yeah.
So I'm very, I'm not paranoid, but I have to be careful as well with the past and stuff. So, there's a lot of people out there that you just can't trust and you don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I don't want nothing's going to come in the way of my wife and children.
Yeah.
Nothing. And I'm certainly not at 56 years of age looking to go to prison because that's a death sentence for me, isn't it? What am I going to do? Come out at 75 and start doing a few sprints down the road and a few press-ups? At the end of the day, it's over. Might as well say, I'll keel over. So, what I'm trying to say is, even when you're a young man, jail is a waste of life. It's a waste of life. It ends up nowhere.
Yeah.
And I'm very fortunate, and I've only come out the other side because of my faith, searching my soul, finding out the real person I am. Not how people to portray me who they think I am. Yeah. And doing good things with people. And that's the thing. That's the thing when I get up every morning because, I want to do good things. I want to get closer to the blessed Lord. The more good things I can do, the more the blessed Lord will be happy.
Yeah. No, absolutely. In terms of faith, and do you like learning about other faiths as well? I know that you said that your friend Baba Hamad spoke to you a bit about the Quran and Islam, and do you learn about other faiths like Judaism? And does that interest you to learn about other faiths as well?
If they don't believe in God, there's no faith at all to me, so I'm not interested. So, if you're telling me there's a religion where they believe in a cow or something.
No, I mean like other faiths that believe in God, but ones that aren't Christianity.
I'll have a look, and I'll speak about that. Yeah, no problem. Anybody who believes in the blessed Lord, to me, is a brother and sister of mine.
Yeah.
So we're one family at the end of the day. So anybody who believes in God's strong faith in the blessed Lord, I respect them ultimately.
Yeah.
Because the people of my own faith, whether you be Muslim, Judaism, whatever it may be, you believe in the blessed Lord, we're all the same. I certainly don't go on skin color. We are one people.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you read any of the other books? Obviously, you've read the Bible because you're a Christian. Have you read the Quran or the Torah?
I've read the Bible and I've read the Quran. I haven't read any other books.
Right. Oh, that's interesting. What was your thoughts when you read the Quran?
I think a lot of the Quran is like very similar to the Genesis of the Bible, BC, before Christ. So there's a lot of similarities, same prophets and stuff. So there is a lot similar, very similar. So interesting, and also the prophecies that gets said. Yeah, no man could speak them words. Not possible. When you sit down and you study them words, the same as the Bible, they can have 1,000 meanings, these words, because they're from a higher being, than what we know, what we can comprehend.
Yeah.
So these words have only come from the blessed Lord.
Yeah.
For a fact.
Absolutely.
And you know that because you're a Muslim, you know the Quran well better, a lot better than I do. But at the end of the day, what I'm saying is, I'm not I don't class myself as a stupid person. I'm a deep thinker as well. And religion, the blessed Lord interests me above anything. I listen to speeches when I'm going down the road of a day. I listen to what people's had to say. Where people's died and they've come back. I listen to all of it.
Okay.
I'm happy to anything what involves the blessed Lord. I'll give it my time. Yeah,
absolutely. Obviously, Christians believe in one God. Jews also believe in one God. Muslims believe in one God. Do you think it matters whether you belong to one or the other? Do you think everyone is going to the same place? It doesn't really matter, or that? I mean, it's your faith that you have to be Christian.
If you're a good soul, of course we're all going to the one place.
Yeah.
You know, Jesus Christ came to us in our own skin color, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Muhammad came to the Muslims because it wouldn't be a white man going to the Muslims. So your own kind of what you call messenger, prophet, son of God, whatever you want to say, you've got that personal message from your own kind. So there's a reason for that, to make you 100% believe this is the reality.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like we've had Jesus Christ, you've had Muhammad. So it's all our own people telling us.
Yeah, exactly.
But the same message.
The same message.
There's not two. Not two messages.
No.
Be a good person. Love each other properly. Yeah. Don't do bad things. You know. Be thankful to the blessed Lord. You know. Greed, jealousy, all these types of things is all materialistic world stuff.
Yeah.
And you know, when these things don't bother you, and when they're not the backbone of your life, and you can easily live without them, there's no threat anymore, is there?
Yeah.
Then you can really live in peace and be more closer to the blessed Lord, because earning money for me today is a game. It's not a game because I need it for security for my family. That's what I work for now today. So as when anything happens to me, you know, they don't have to go anyway. It's about security. I understand all that. You know, we can't do much without it. We need to get on. We've got to work. But with or without it, it's not the be end all for me. You know, I talked to somebody, and he's also, you know, he's a Christian. He's a little boy, and he lives in France. And he sends me these videos, and he's living off the land and stuff. You know, and he's growing his own. He's growing his own stuff. He's got goats for milk.
Oh, nice.
He's got chickens. And I'm looking at him, and I'm thinking to myself, this guy's got it here. You know, this man, he's living off the grid.
Yeah.
He's living off the grid. Every time he comes on and we do like a video like this, he's grinning from ear to ear. You know, and I'm thinking to me, what a lovely upbringing his child is having. You know, and this is what he does. He buys an old tractor and stuff, and you know he's doing it up with the spanners, and what he does, he's a bit of an engineer or whatever.
Oh.
You know, it's nice to see.
Yeah.
These kind of things is what I'm not saying we should all get back to, but understand it comes back down to your faith again.
Yeah.
The real things, food, sleep, health, all this is what matters. Not who's got the best car on the drive.
Yeah.
So whatever.
The simple life is the best life, isn't it?
The simple life is the best life, and it gives you. And these kind of people are also stronger in faith as well.
Yeah.
That's what you see.
Yeah, definitely. Just lastly, to ask you to bring it a bit back to boxing. Obviously, we've been talking about faith. There's been a lot of boxers, I think, that have very strong faith. Do you find, from what you've seen, that these boxers cope better with the ups and downs of being a fighter, with the ones that have got that strong faith because they have that to fall back on?
Yeah, you know, it's a brutal sport. You know, it's one-on-one in there. And you find that a lot of fighters have got a strong faith, because ultimately, when the chips are down, you know, who needs the blessed Lord when everything's going good and you're not in any danger? A lot of people only pray to the blessed Lord when it suits them.
Yeah.
You know, so they're what does it say? There's a saying in the Bible. You know, the blessed Lord would rather have you stone cold than lukewarm. Because you're not hot, you're not cold, you're lukewarm. You're neither one thing or the other.
Yeah.
So basically, this is what you get. But going back onto your question, you know, your faith is everything. You can move mountains. You know, and if I, even when I was a young man, and I was going into my kind of battles, whether it be having a punch up on the street, you know,
Yeah.
with no gloves on. You know, I pray to God that everything goes all right. You know, put your arm or a shield around me. You know, I'm going into battle.
Yeah.
I get myself prepared. You know, and me faith even then, you know, would get me through it.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
everything, any adverse thing in my life, I've always resorted to the blessed Lord all the time, and even more so now. And the good things in my life, even more so. I thank the blessed Lord. Say, oh, thank you very much.
Yeah.
So God plays everything. You're talking to a man here where God plays everything in my life.
Yeah.
And anything in that Bible, anybody that does anything what's not in God's words, it's not for me. It's a free world, and you know, I don't look at people any less or whatever. But it's just not for me. It's not my beliefs.
Yeah.
You know, I believe in. Blessed Lord has saved my life, and I'm not. Listen, I'm not a saint here. I've done some bad things in my time. I've not been a good person when I was younger, you know. But do I regret it? Of course, I regret it. Was it a good thing? No, it's not a good thing. You know, if I could turn it back, but I'm not a person to think about yesterday because I can't change it.
Yeah.
But I can definitely change tomorrow. I can change today. I can give messages out there, and it's all a waste of time. And I know what these young kids go through. I've been there myself.
Yeah.
You know, where it's all right for him talking, but you know, there's no quick solution in life unless you can get a lottery ticket and win the lottery. That's very, very minutely slim. Yeah.
Exactly.
So there's no quick fix. You know, if you're on £1 a week and you've got nothing, try and save 50 pence of it.
Yeah.
You look round in a few years, you've got money that you've never had.
Yeah, exactly.
So take your time. Don't look at the other person. Best to just do your thing. Boxing, I don't care if you've had 30 losses. Doesn't mean anything. You can turn the corner and become a champion.
Yeah.
Because him over there that's got 2 arms and 2 legs, he's a champion. He's the same as me. So he's doing it. I'll do it because I'll educate myself.
Yeah.
And I'll want this. So I will study. Like going to school, college. If you want to be good at something, you want to be a surgeon, you've got to go through all the right things. It's not a given. You know, so in life's not a given. But if you work hard and you say no to all the temptations and you want to do good things, yeah, you'll get them. And what I'd say to kids in impoverished areas, you know, find a gym, whether it be swimming, sports, whatever you're interested in, you know, football. Even if you're not going to be a champion at it, start doing things. Start exercising, working out, you know, going to the local gyms, because it makes you feel better as well. Clean up your act, keep away from drugs, keep off the drugs, keep off all the bad shit. It's all man-made concoctions, so as man can earn money from your demise.
Yeah.
These are man-made concoctions, what they're getting hooked on drugs, drink, whatever it may be. This is man-made so as they can earn money at the cost of your health.
Yeah.
So understand what all this is. Smoking and all that, you know, it's a killer.
Yeah.
It's a man-made killer. You know, so what you're doing, you're putting stuff down your neck, you're smoking it, whatever you're doing, yeah. You know, you're helping control the population. You know, we don't know what the meanings of all this is, but you shouldn't be doing it. So if they can stop all these vices, go to the gym, live clean, and understand that there is a blessed Lord. And I know there is, and I don't want to go on about it on here, but I've had experience where I know there's a blessed Lord. So, and the thing is, if they just do that and they concentrate, and even if there's nothing round the corner, I've been times in my life where thinking, and I've looked at it and thinking, that's it, there's nothing. You know, I've been at times in my life where I've had, well, let's look at this. I've had barristers, the best of barristers and QCs at the time, tell me that get used to it, you're going to get 30 plus years, let's say. Yeah, this is what they're telling me. If I listen to them, I wouldn't be sat here talking to you today. Yeah, listening to them, because that's what they believe. But I'm in there in a cell, going nowhere, and they're going home and treating this like a 9-to-5 job. Well, it's my life, isn't it? And I'm not going to roll over when I'm certainly not, shouldn't be doing it, because I haven't done them crimes to warrant that kind of thing anymore. But yet they're telling me, because of my past record, this and that, I'm going to get this year. Anyway, so there was no light at the end of the tunnel. But, I kept fighting. And my faith in the blessed Lord made me see things, and I come out the other side. So no matter how bleak things appear to be, I've been in situations when I was a young man. If I'd have had a gun on me, I'd have used it, because in my mind, I'm getting killed here. It's come on top. There's too many. I'm going to get done in. So if I'd have had a gun, I'd have used it and probably got a life sentence. But I never had a gun, and it never came to anything at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So this is what I mean. Take a step back and think before you do things as well. What appears to be a good thing when you're younger, because you're eager, you're anxious, take a step back and have a good think about it, because it's not the right way. The right way, best to earn £1 properly, than to earn £1,000 not properly.
Yeah.
Because you're putting your life at risk. And there's people here, I will say this to the young men as well, in local crime they won't come across it. When you climb the ladder and then you come up high in crime, they've got all of the tools. They know how to snare you. You can get trapped. You can get a lot of stuff can go wrong. And for a young man who's not capable of all this and can't see what's happening, you're going for a long spell in prison.
Yeah.
And just keep away from it, because you don't belong there.
Yeah.
A lot of people in crime are not good people anyway.
Wow.
So message for me: crawl, be the snail. I'd rather be the tortoise than the hare.
Yeah.
I'd rather be the snail, because the snail is slow, the tortoise is slow, but they're the winners of life. They're the building blocks of success. It's the slow things, because what the slow things do gives you time to think. Gives you time to think about your way. Not everybody is your friend. You can grow up and you can be in school together and you think he's your best mate, but he's not.
Yeah, true.
So trust in yourself. And that advice is the best advice I can give to anyone.
Absolutely. And you've mentioned before as well about company, and just talking to you about faith, it like lifts my spiritual self as well. When you talk to other people of faith who've got high, in their spirituality, it makes you feel high in your spirituality as well. And that's why it's so important to have good company around you, because that really determines where you go in life, right?
It is important. If I seen a young kid now and he's got a knife with him, and I seen the knife, what would you say? I'd be disgusted for one, and I'd talk to him and say, "What do you want to do?" I'd probably rip my shirt open and say, "There's my skin. Do you want to put it through there? Do you think that's good? Do you? Yeah. Do you think that's good to have a young lad at your age on a slab with his mother and father having to attend to look? You think that's good? You've just wrecked a full family's life, and you've wrecked this young kid's life as well. So the evil acts, they're not tough acts. You're not a tough guy. You're not anything. A lot of these young kids, they don't realise the impact they're having. Now, they're probably going to realise 30 years later when they get released and they're in the 50s, I killed a young person there. That's if they get sensible, because prisons can radicalise them even further the other way. There's that as well, where they can go the other way in there. But the thing is, what I'm trying to say is knives, vicious stabbings with young kids and all this, they're just, it's just all crazy stuff that doesn't need to happen in the first place.
No, absolutely.
The way things are. It's horrendous, the things that go on today. And you know,
have you done any work with kids around this kind of stuff, or people who are you know, going down the wrong path? Have you done any work with people like that who to like help them?
I haven't done a lot, to be honest with you. No, I've not really been asked to do it. I did something in Bolton, up in Lancashire, a few years ago, and I talked to a group of kids there, and that was it. I've not done any more than that, really. But I think speaking to people like yourself, putting this message across, is going to get across to a lot more people than speaking just to a few kids in a hall.
Yeah.
You know, but I do understand. And look, I feel as much sorry for the person who stabbed the kid as the kid who's been stabbed.
Yeah.
Because the one who's stabbing him doesn't realise what he's doing.
Exactly.
Clearly doesn't realise what he's doing. And the young kid that's been stabbed, you know, listen, how could you do that? I'll be honest with you. I could not witness that. If I seen it, I'd have to run in the middle of it. I couldn't see somebody stab somebody else because, you know, it's not the way. We're not that people. We're not a race of people to do that.
Yeah.
Shouldn't even be contemplating it.
No, absolutely. But so much wisdom that you've shared with us today, Peter, and I'm just so happy that I could have this time with you. I just want to thank you so much for giving me your time.
I'm sorry it took so long.
No, I'm sorry because I've taken up your time and I wasn't supposed to. I'm really sorry that it's actually gone longer than I was planning for, because I know how busy you are as well and how many people you've been saying yes to, because I've seen quite a few of your podcasts, so you must be saying yes to a lot of people.
I don't mind, but I've enjoyed this interview, especially talking about the faith side of it, because the faith side of it is me. So that you're talking about topics that I'm involved in, and that's where my life is today. It's not about what's around me now. It's about getting to know the afterlife better, getting to know God as much as I can. I can't get to know him enough, you know, all these type of things. I'm a studier of that. So I do study and look into the blessed Lord and everything, you know. And I'm being a good person.
Yeah.
That's the key. But try and better yourself. And look, none of us are perfect.
Absolutely.
We're not perfect, none of us. You know, talk to perfect things probably every day. But try and be better. Try and better yourself. That's the thing. And put positive energy out there.
Yeah.
Not negative rubbish.
Absolutely. That's the journey that we're on, trying to be as good as we can. But people, how can they get hold of you? So it's Peter Fury on Instagram. Are you on any other platform apart from Instagram?
I think I'm across a lot of the social medias. On X, they call it now. So I'm on there. People could contact me on that. So yeah, it's just my name.
Yeah. And the podcast that you're doing as well.
White beard and stuff. So usually a picture with it. So they'll see it's me, won't they?
Yeah, absolutely. And I understand you're doing a podcast as well now.
Yeah, they've been doing quite well, the podcast.
Yeah.
Coming out, I think releasing. Well, they're optimistic. They were wanting to release one every couple of weeks, but
oh wow,
I think that's happening. But
yeah,
I think one a month. One's coming out today, actually.
Oh, is it? Okay.
One's coming out this evening, and we've done quite a few. Yeah, so they're rolling off, and they're interested in listening to people's lives. I had somebody on just over a week ago, and it was very tragic. You know what happened with him, and he was one of these young boxers passed away, and he had to deal with it, and it has. It's mentally scarred him. But, you know, I just said to him, I said, listen, you're going through what you're going through because of the person you are. You know, the more good a person you are, it's going to have a profound effect, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you're as cold as ice and things don't bother you, then that's a different thing.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you've got love for people, especially in this sport, things, you know, and this guy's a real high respected guy. He's got an MBE as well.
Oh wow.
So he's a very, very good person. Does a lot of charity stuff, and but it really affected his life. So listening to people like this, listening to the life experience, it's good. So I'm enjoying it. Enjoying listening to the stories, because everybody's got a different. Although we're in the same world, everybody's treaded a different line, haven't they?
Exactly. Experiences are different, aren't they? What's that called again, the podcast?
It's called Real Talk with Peter Fury.
Okay, great. So people can look that up. I think it's on YouTube, isn't it? I think.
Is.
Yeah, perfect. So yeah, everyone, please follow Peter's journey.
It's actually Boxing Now.
Boxing Now.
Yeah. So if you just put Boxing Now, it should come up.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your time. It's been lovely speaking to you. Always, learning loads from all of your experience throughout your life, and I really appreciate it. Please keep in touch. It'd be lovely to keep in touch and see how things are going with you later on. And guys, please like, comment, subscribe to our channel, and I will see you all next time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you.
It's another bang. All the Muslim cars now, whichever hit her. Light up my card with a sweet one, please. Someone flips me a bag.